now.
Right, exactly. Oh, then that's when I want to hang out.
Funny. I just press record not to
Oh, that's totally fine.
record your innermost thoughts, but just I forget to press record on this new system. So
Hey, maybe we'll have a gem that flies out.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's
no,
also, there's
no
often
biggie.
a chance of that.
Yeah.
So I'm busy playing my little life update. I'm playing all my PC games on here now, my Steam games.
Oh, that's the, what is that? The Iron, is that the Evo?
It's the,
Or the
no, so this is the 2S. So what they did was,
2S, that's right.
yeah,
Okay.
Ayaneo, like, because I was very
They all
excited.
look the same.
Yes, and I'm starting to understand why people are getting quite frustrated with working with them. Because, so they send me this, but now I realize they sent me this because they're just about to release the new one. So they had old stock. And they're like, well, he's a small YouTuber. We'll just send this to him. Which, I mean, I'm not really complaining, but I can't really
Right.
like in about 2 weeks or so, content with this device is going to be sort of null and void. So I might make one more video with it. But then they also released the Evo in exactly the same shell as this. So their new
I remember, yeah.
Ayaneo 3 is going to look different, and then the Evo is going to look like the old model. It's very confusing. They really need to get their shit together. Again, we're recording. I need to be nice.
No, I understand. I haven't even gone into that whole ball of wax with Ayaneo
they're
devices.
so expensive, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and yeah, that's the other thing, because I almost have a hard time, swallowing some of the higher end devices that we have. I'd rather put my money towards the Odin, and all those devices.
Yes. Yeah.
Retroid, things like that.
Yes.
That than the other one, just because they're like the Anbernick of, higher end models, I suppose, because they just keep coming out.
Keep pumping them out. Yeah.
They just keep shelling them out. It's nuts.
They have had a few hits lately, though, so that's good for them.
Yeah.
Quite a few people have. I mean, you obviously get the people who it's just so expensive, but a lot of people are very positive about their new Game Boy one. It's ridiculously priced.
The DMG, yes.
Yes, the DMG.
The thing that I want and I'm not going to get because,
yeah, you'll be kicked out
here's
on
my
the street.
kidney. Gonna have to sell off an organ in order to get one of those. But yeah, that thing looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
it really does.
And it is
don't do it. No.
Thank you, Kim. All right, I'll keep you on speed dial.
I can see your face, and I'm like, nope, don't you dare. You're good. But if you really, really want one, you could probably. I mean, I feel like at some point, maybe the used market is gonna pop up or something. Maybe I don't know.
Then again, I was just thinking today, I'm probably the only person in South Africa who owns this. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's that.
You're the only person in. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, sorry, we're rambling, but this thing is over $1,000. I mean, that is just crazy money. I gave it a good review, but then I went into the shop. So here's a huge, you're not really reviewing this stuff at the moment, but a huge plus for, and it's sad for Ayaneo, but for the Lenovo and the Asus, is that those are global brands. Even more so than, for instance, the Steamdeck. In the US, it feels like the Steamdeck is everywhere. But, we've only just started getting it here, and I don't even think it's an official release here. Whereas Asus is in the shop now. I went and I held it for the first time, the ROG Ally.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
That's a huge plus with those devices. So it's a hard sell with the Ayaneo.
Yeah, I feel like that's where a lot of those companies just, even Valve, you're saying that the Steam Deck is more prevalent here, and yes, but I mean, there's so many people. They're like, what's a Steam Deck? A Steam Deck? A what? What does that do?
It's strange, eh?
Yeah. And I'm like, wait a second, but you have, it could be a quote unquote gamer that I'm talking to, like a couple guys from work or something like that. And they're like,
Yeah.
what? Wait, what? What is that? I go, you have a PS5 at home, you have an Xbox, and you know things. They don't. They don't know everything. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've spoken to someone about this before. Okay, we're officially podcasting now, because I spoken to someone about this before about the Steam Deck, and it feels to us who are in the scene like it is the mainstream thing. Like everyone has a Steam Deck. That's how it feels, but it's still pretty niche, which that's exciting because that means that there's a whole lot of room for growth. I mean,
oh, for sure.
Like considering that MSI Claw, guys are sort of raving about it now. Here's my opinion, but it's so ugly. Like it's such an ugly handheld.
I know.
And like we've just got a long way to go, and that's exciting, So
yeah. I don't know what to think about the MSI Claw. It looks good. I feel like it would be the last on my list that I would probably pick.
Yes.
Probably go for the ROG Ally. Really, I need to get myself up to Best Buy because I know that they have them, and I think they have the Lenovo Legion Go.
We aren't far off from getting that here in the shops either.
Yeah. I don't know if you can purchase them in the store, but I think that you can order them online. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to hold one. And that's where like Valve, I know that Valve wants to control, and they do control where, the product is coming from. But if somebody held the Steam Deck versus anything else, like why would you get anything else? I just feel especially when you can pick up that PS Portal, which they got tons of those on the rack, but I mean, come on.
Okay.
Steam Deck.
I haven't checked it out. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen the Portal.
There's no reason for that. So somebody gave my kids a PS Portal. Okay. And I ended up giving it to my brother. I was like, you know what? I told him about it, and then I was like, you can just have this. Merry Christmas. Yeah. And he was like, I don't care that I knew about this. Because I was like, I don't have a PS5.
Yeah.
So we can't use it. So, but he's having fun with it and also yelling at it because he's like, what is this? Why can't I do X, Y? Like he's going through the alphabet. It doesn't do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But they really updated their remote play, I think. So he's going to try to check that out and see if that works for him.
I hope they learned their lesson there because it wasn't well received. No. Very limited use case, very limited features. Like, is it just us who are in our little bubble, like the Steam Deck bubble, because to me, they need to make a handheld. Just make a handheld PlayStation.
Yeah.
If you make that, it will sell like crazy.
Well, I mean, hello. You had the PSP that came out years ago. Everybody loves the PSP. You have one. Yes. I mean, that's all that people want. Yeah. And what Sony should look at all these other companies, even, everybody overseas aside, but Asus and Lenovo and Valve, and say, I guess we should maybe step it up a little bit. Yeah. It can just play your stuff, but it should play it just, I don't know. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Get your crap together, Stoney.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it does feel like it's one of those, like, when PlayStation just took over the console market from Nintendo. Kind of feels like that, where the big giants are left sleeping. But we'll see. I don't know enough about that industry to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's just, So who knows? Maybe that when the Switch 2 comes out, maybe that'll push everybody to do something. I don't know.
Yes.
Who knows?
There's so much hype that someone reached out to me, one of the accessory companies. So I think what happens is there's like a non-disclosure agreement, and Nintendo send out the specs to these companies so that they can start making accessories before release. So this company reached out to me and said, we're going to start making, they didn't even tell me which device. So I had to actually say to them, listen, what are you talking about? I don't even know what's coming out. And they said, no, we're talking about the Switch 2. And then I said to them, no, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to get it. And there's so much hype that I'm actually starting to think maybe I will get it. We'll see. Yeah. Are you getting the Switch 2?
No. Probably not.
That's a surprise.
Eventually. Okay, my answer is eventually.
Okay.
I will not go and purchase that right now. Both my kids have a Switch. Both my kids have a Switch. I've never really had the desire to have my own, so I don't care that much.
Yeah. Okay, one more question about this, and then I'm going to do the intro, and then we're going to... So what do you play your sort of Steam Switch games on? Steam PC games on?
Steam games on my Steamdeck, because I'm awesome and I'm cool like you. Yes. I want to be like you, so I got Steamdeck.
So what I did was, okay, that's cool. All right. So because Ayaneo sent me this thing, so I was like so excited about this, and I've been wanting this family member who he's also, he's like me, where he used to game when he was younger, and life happened, but he's still a passionate gamer, And so he's always talking to me about, Ghost Recon. Remember when I used to play Ghost Recon? And he lists all these like old army games that he used to play, like all those old first-person shooter games. And so I've been I said to him, just hang in there. One day somebody's going to send me a Steam Deck or something like that, and you can use it. So he's borrowing the Steam Deck. So the Ayaneo is my device now for a while. But truth be told, I do miss the Steam Deck. Like, I just do. I love holding this. It's a really pretty device. Like, it really is something really up my alley. But when you're sitting gaming and you don't care what the thing looks like, the Steam Deck is just the best.
Yeah, it really is. It just fits in your hand so well. And I don't even have the OLED version. I have the LCD version, and I don't care. It works fabulously.
Yeah.
It's just great. And then you can dock it, and you can throw a controller on it. It's just, it looks like it shouldn't work. When you look at it, you're like, what on earth?
Yes.
Why did they make that decision? And then you hold it, and you're like, oh, I understand.
I love that.
I get it. Because that's exactly what happened like months and months ago. One of my coworkers got it, and I go, wait a second, how come you got it? And I should be getting it.
I'm the gamer person.
Right, exactly. He's like, well, you kept talking about it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I held it, and he's got the pretty OLED one and whatever.
Okay.
But I was just like, wow, that thing, he's taken out of his bag, and and I'm like, oh my God, that thing is monstrous. It's just massive. He hands it to me, and I'm like, ooh, it's a little heavy. And then I put it in my hands, and I go, oh, okay. Well, I'll be doing this all day. Like, it fits, it works. And it's Valve did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
I don't even think they need a Steam Deck 2. It's fine right now. Just leave it alone.
It's almost problematic. It's so good. I think you're right. They need to have it in more shops. Like, they need to send demo units across the world, because if people hold it, like, there's a ROG Ally in the shop here down the road, and I held it and it feels great. But then I walked away and I was like, no, the Steam Deck's definitely better. It feels nice. It's probably a little bit better ergonomically than my Ayaneo, but the Steam Deck just is king. It's just so great. All right, moving on. we could talk about the Steam Deck all day. Okay, I'm going to do a quick intro.
We could.
Sure. Hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast. I've got Kim from RetroFunTech on the channel today. She's been here before, like a regular in the retro gaming scene. So hello, Kim. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we'll see if we keep any of that preamble. We went on a tangent about the Steam Deck. So if you're into the Steam Deck, there's a long intro about that. And maybe catch us up, because I'm trying to remember all your sort of your background story. You work in tech, right?
I'm in the tech support space.
Tech support,
sort of, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very much tech support in many different facets of that.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for a very long time, and I kind of just, with all that knowledge and a big thing of what I have done. Well, one of my big facets of what I have done is kind of take all of the tech jargon and I dumb it down for people. So you can take that with. That's part of the reason why I have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
That, I take all of this and then I go, here, it's not that scary. It's pretty easy. Just do this thing, and then you can play video games. I mean, my backstory really is that, we all grew up on video games, and when the pandemic hit really is when I went, well, you know what? If the world is ending, I want to go out playing video games, and I need to play. I need to play video games. So that started me down like this giant journey of, seeing everybody on there and getting familiar with the Retro Handhelds channel, Russ, Retro Game Core, and his videos kept me sane during many times, and yeah, it was. And then, I don't know, it just, one day I literally just had a voice in my head that said, hey, you know what? Maybe you should do this. Along with that, I have a little bit of a background in film, doing screenwriting and a little bit of directing and editing and things like that. I've taken many classes on all of those things. Wanted to do all of that. Family happened and all that.
Life happened.
Life happened. So this is like honestly, this whole YouTube journey has been such a fulfilling piece of, when like you feel like you're not doing what you're, I don't want to get like super like philosophical, but you're not doing something that, like, for a long time I wasn't doing anything that was creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have, big artist background. I paint and draw, digital stuff and all that, film and everything. So yeah. So I always had like this nagging voice of going, what are you doing? Do something. You're not happy, completely. I mean, happy, but you know what I mean? Like I felt like slightly wasteful, but the whole YouTube thing, just being able to, do all of this. Oh yeah, I have everybody on here. So
I'm going to need to organize a sticker and then send you one.
You need to. I was going to talk to you about that. But
what's his name?
Yeah, Stubbs sent me a box.
Yes.
And there's
Game Tech
Clef
Talk.
And Mikhailov.
Oh, cool.
Team Retro. I don't have a sticker for Russ because I have a magnet somewhere. I know. Well, he didn't have a sticker. He only had magnets. So Stubbs sent me a magnet, but I'd like to put a couple more stickers. So make a sticker for yourself and I will put it on my bottle. That's everybody's goal.
Yeah, my branding is pretty shitty, to be honest.
No. We just need to cartoon you up and,
Yeah, because my branding is, like, at the moment, I'm riding on the smiley face, my energy, and I don't know that's pretty much it. So I need to develop that a little bit more.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And maybe talk to Tech Dweeb. He'll help you out. It'll be okay.
Yes, he's good at that kind of thing. Anyway, so what you were saying is interesting, because the part of that you never spoke about before, what was it now? Just the way that you like to dumb down the the tech stuff for people, and your this okay, that's going to sound like an insult, but I definitely, when you said that, I was like, okay, I see that in your YouTube, because yours feels a lot like just a friend talking to you about stuff that they really like. And then by the end of it, you realize that you've learned a few things along the way, but it never felt like a list of features, and I like that about what you do.
Oh, thank you.
I see you're nudging close to 5,000 subscribers. I don't know where we were with the last episode, but that's good.
Not there.
Yeah.
We were, I forget. I think I was over 2, I want to say.
Okay, well, that's great progress.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why I named my channel, because everybody is just like, what? I don't understand. I can't work my iPhone. I don't know how to do any of the things. So it's not that scary. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like just everybody in the world needs to play video games, and we all just want to teach them how to play video games and relive their childhood. That's all this really is about.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'll just quickly, I always look through people's channels a little bit, and I'm just a little jealous. I don't know what happened with me, but my RGB 20 Pro only arrived like now during the holidays. My RG Cube XX only just arrived. The one thing I have just gotten, which I don't see on your channel, but I think you might have already, is the RG, what's it, the 34XX, this thing?
I don't have it yet. It's coming.
Don't you? Okay.
NXT is sending it to me.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. What do you think?
I've had it now for an hour, but
wow.
I'm very impressed. When the renders came out, I said to everyone, that looks like a Game Boy Advance that was left in the sun and melted a little bit, because the renders looked skew. It looked like it was doing this. It just didn't look right with the hard renders. But when you see it in real life with the curves on the back, so it's like got this lump on the back. It has it's almost like an analog volume toggle, but you pull it and then the volume goes down. You push it and then the volume goes up.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I love that about it. The D-pad is tiny, hey? Like it's somewhere between the normal D-pad and the RG Nano. Like it's small. So that's really small. But the shoulder buttons are really, really nice. Overall, it's very, I never had this or saw it growing up, but it is very reminiscent of old tech. Like I don't know what people are saying in the reviews, people who've actually owned the original in the past, but it feels pretty damn close to that nostalgia. So
yeah.
Did you own a Game Boy Advance growing up?
I didn't, but I did have a couple friends or, like cousins that had it. So I had
so at least
played it.
Okay, yes.
I have held it in the past, and I was excited just because, not for me, but for like everybody else, because
yes,
I feel like that's where, and I'm glad Amber made this, because once they made the SP, everybody's like, why didn't you make that form factor? And I was hoping that it was coming. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Because there's actually, once I showed, there's a guy that I work with, and I showed him, and he's a young guy.
Okay.
And which is great, because I'm trying to get everybody, I'm like, come over to the dark side, play some retro games. But I showed him that. I'm like, this is what I'm getting pretty soon. He's like, what? What is that?
You see,
I need that now.
Yeah.
And he didn't even, because he had one, and he was like, I'm going to buy like 5 of them. I want one. I'm going to give one to my brother,
because you see
friends.
they're
set them all
affordable.
up. Yeah. And I told him about the price, and he was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So
right?
I feel like that's where they're going to really get, the younger generation, that will come aboard and start playing a little bit more of retro games. So I hope that, I'm glad that Ambernick does it. it'd be cool if we saw even another one, maybe from Pow Kitty or
Yeah.
dare I say Miu. I highly doubt that they'll ever get around to doing it, but you know.
Yeah. It took them how long to make the other thing? But
I know.
you know what's cool here is the operating system. Okay, I don't know if it's blurry now. My
I can see it.
the best. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
It is. They've just polished this operating system. This is the stock operating system. And
yeah,
I mean, there's always a few missing features, you know, the sort of when you start really digging deeper, but the way it looks, the way it feels, and the basic functionality is all there. They really have polished it nicely. So, like you say, for newcomers, this is really probably the best thing right now. It's really cool.
I think they did that, and now you said that you didn't get the Cube XX until right now. I think that they changed the operating system, if I'm remembering correctly, with the Cube XX.
Yes,
because I remember opening that up, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's like a little bit better. It's a little bit better." Because I always yelled about the Anbernic stocks operating system, and finally they're getting around to it, where it's decent enough that, you know, somebody can just open it up and start playing with it right out of the box.
Exactly. And it was funny because I just made a post today about the Mini, the Retroid Mini, and I made a post about how this is going to be my device now. Like the orange.
Oh, really?
That orange is nice. Did you get the funny color, or is that like
no? And
correct?
I wouldn't have cared if I did.
Okay.
I was thinking that it would be cool. Everybody was calling it the Half-Life color.
Yes, the Half-Life color. Yes.
No, this is the
correct one.
Real
it does
honest
look good,
honest to goodness
really nice.
white, but it's really pretty. It is. It's really pretty.
Reminds me of those
like
ice creams, the orange ice creams.
Yes, it is. It's the creamsicle color.
Yeah.
It is. That's
but
funny.
What gaming console was that color? I'm having such a retro. I might not be thinking of a game console. There was something orange like that with. Anyway, it'll come to me.
I think I know. I think I know what you're talking about. I can't picture it though.
I might be talking about. I might be just talking about orange amps, which is a whole different.
I don't know.
Thing.
I'm picturing. I don't think it was a Game Boy. I don't know. Maybe, but
there was something.
I like this. I'm really. Do you have a? You have a 5, right? Yeah, because you made a couple videos on it. Yeah, I love what Retroid did with. From the 4 line to these, oh my goodness. This just feels so premium. It's very, very nice with the Mini and the 5.
So you like the 5 as well. Okay, cool. Just the new look and the new design and the comforts and all that. Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
It is
and
really
finally
good.
ergonomic bumps, which whether people like those or not, I think they should have maybe a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe if the screen on the 4 was a little bit bigger, I wouldn't have, yelled about it so much. I know you love the 4, but after I played with it initially, it honestly collected dust. I wish that it didn't, but it just
Interesting.
did.
Yeah. Well, my son plays the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, and I said to him, "My boy, this one is much cooler. You should use this one," because he likes to play Roblox. And I said it'll play Roblox a little bit better. Just not interested. There was just it just doesn't have a vibe. Like he just the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. I've got the clear blue one, and he just likes it. He doesn't like my Retroid Pocket 4. But what I wanted to say was I was going to do this as my device. I was like, I like playing. There's some Android stuff that I like to do on here. It's got a beautiful screen and it's compact and it's a great companion to a Steamdeck or whatever. So I had a whole video prepared with this. Yeah. And then this arrived, and I'm going to sit tonight, like with my wife, and be like, oh, she's not interested in this stuff at all. But she's always a good sounding board in terms of like, she'll just look at it and be like, that's dumb, or whatever. So, she's completely outside. She's not interested in gaming, not interested in any of this stuff. So she's always a good sounding board. And I don't know, this is just so nice. It's got like a bit of a Tupperware vibe to it. So you just know you're going to be able to throw this in your bag and it's just going to be indestructible. It feels, like the old Game Boys, like it's just really like a brick, whereas this is a bit more delicate. So more features,
for sure.
like a third of the price. So
yeah,
I think that's the video now. The video has shifted.
Or you could do a two-parter. Okay, this was it. And now maybe I changed my mind.
Yeah.
And switch. We're going to switch this.
Do a Mr. Beast switch. The thing with Mr. Beast, I think it's anywhere after halfway through the movie, through the video, he switches the script. That's like one of his techniques.
Yep.
So I'll be like,
and just
actually,
right. Yeah.
Okay. So our first question.
Sure.
What are your, I don't know if you've given this some thoughts, but what are your top devices of 2024? I know I gave you these questions a little late, so.
Oh, you're totally fine. I actually did a video. I pushed through and I did a video the other. Yeah. And
3 days
I did
ago.
it pretty, I pushed through. I was like doing it right at the same time as I was wrapping up my Retroid Pocket 5 video, but I wanted to do that just because there were so many devices that came out. It's in my coat pocket, but my number one device is the SP. And that's why
SP,
it's my number.
Okay, I'll quickly grab it.
Yeah. I have two of them. So here's my other one. My other one that has MooOS is in my, you have the silver. So I have a blue. The DMG is in my coat pocket.
Oh,
so
wow.
if I get stuck in a snowstorm.
So much. Yes.
What's that?
No, just with you in big. You got two.
Yes.
So what's that about it getting stuck in a snowstorm?
Oh, but I always keep a handheld, especially when I'm starting to wear a coat, because it's winter here. I know it's summer, where you are.
Very much so,
but,
yes.
Yeah, it's like 7 outside, but I always keep one with me. And it used to be the Miu Mini Plus, which I have here, and I always kept it in this cool case. And this is starting to collect a little bit of dust.
Interesting.
I feel bad. So, yes.
So this is it for you.
That's so far. And which is weird because when I got it, I was like, okay, I understand with the flip, but I didn't like the clicky buttons. But over time, they really have started to wear me down. And I have one of the both of these are the earlier versions, so they don't even have the extra, I think the newer versions have a little bit of the clickiness, dumbed down.
Dumbed down, yes, they did do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I could go in there and I know, I could do the button mod, and Aish has a great video on that and everything, but I don't want to.
So what OS would you recommend? MooOS for this? Or just stuck?
Okay, so I did a whole video before on that, and I love MooOS, but I also love, like, this one has Newly on it. So my DMG has MooOS, and this one has Newly.
Okay.
And I like them for totally different reasons.
Okay.
Newly, I feel like, is a little easier, say, if I was going to hand it to a friend. And, it's a little more just easier on the eyes. It looks cool, like a game console, kind of flashy. MooOS is a little bit more dumbed down and, like minimalist without being menu-eye.
Yes.
So,
which is more
but
my
it's still,
scene.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to do, best of both worlds, and I still find myself coming back to my blue one, and I'm like, yeah, let's do Newly, and I like Newly, and so then I switch and I play Newly for a week. Yeah. So.
All right.
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, so that was
I still like both
very
OSs.
unhelpful answer, because
I'm sorry. Well, okay. If you're asking for which one do you want to do, I mean, I guess the question is, do you want Do you want all the ports? Because if you want all
not
access
not
to all the ports,
no, not too interested in
but
that.
if you might have just answered it because you like the minimalist. You should
Yes.
probably go MooOS because
So
you can get super minimal as far as the themes go.
yeah, and then does it support like a shutdown standby? So if I close it, is it gonna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
They did
And
fix it on the
that's
stock though, hey, because I just noticed now this stock version doesn't do the shutdown. Because when I did
yes,
my
they
initial
did.
review, it didn't work, but then they updated it, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
I
would.
need to give this
I
another
think that
chance.
you should.
Yeah, but
I'm
this
wanting
arrived.
them. I know, right? Yeah. That was part of me doing my video, my wrap-up video, because it was more about what devices that I have reviewed that I still play with, that I still play on.
Yes.
Because, as reviewers, we'll get something, we tinker with it for a week, 10 days or something, and then we're like, okay, I've done my videos with it.
Yeah.
And we set it on the shelf.
Yeah, and there are a lot of those.
And then the next thing comes in,
Yeah. Yeah, and it is difficult now because there are so many more, and there are a lot of great devices. So I think I am suffering from the situation where I just feel really bad that there are so many good devices that I'm not giving. I think I'm a little bit of Russ mentioned the word completionist. So
Okay.
I get an immense amount of stress not giving every device what it deserves, And there are so many good ones that I just have barely looked at. I mean, the RG406H, probably one of the best devices that Anbernic have ever made. And I've made my video about it, and the chances of me going back to it are really slim because I'm telling you,
Right.
next week there's going to be a new Anbernic, and I'm not going to, it's just nuts. So
Yeah.
it is stressing me out, I must say.
Yeah. Talking about the 34XX that you have, the cool thing that I like that they're doing, I know that, we're getting just pummeled with all of these different devices, but what I really think that, not that they're going to watch this video, but what I really think that companies really should be doing is focus on it. It's not about the chipset inside. It's not about the internals. It's not about, this one can play up to Dreamcast. Well, they can always play. They all can play up to Dreamcast. Or, you can play 2 games of GameCube on here. Okay, whatever. It's going to be a form factor. It's really going to be form factor and, do this. Bring nostalgia back.
Yeah.
I mean, they should go from here. If Anbernic or any gaming company would be smart, bring out a clone of the WonderSwan, Neo Geo Pocket, things like that, where I feel like, especially, a bunch of here in the U.S., we didn't have the WonderSwan or the Neo Geo Pocket.
Yeah, neither did
I heard
we.
about it. I saw it in a magazine, never touched it.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really cool to see is, just do that sort of thing.
It's interesting. It is interesting because then I've got the bubble, the GKD bubble, which...
Oh, yeah, I want that one.
It is cool. Oh, sorry. I did not expect this episode just to be us going on and on about all sorts of different devices, but I think it's because of the new year. Yeah. No, but I think it's the new year, like we're like reassessing, So this arrived just before I went on holiday. So this one's also like burning a hole in my brain. And so Game Gear-ish, so a bit of nostalgia, and it's super janky. It's like, it's probably, I think it's quite well made, but the plastic, it's like, it's reminiscent of like those games that McDonald's used to give, like that kind of feeling to it. So the shoulder buttons, but there is some charm to it. But
because it looks like a Game Gear.
Yes, but the thing is, just like the Anbernic Arc, it didn't sell that well just because they never sold a lot of Sega in the US, and that's the main market. So I wonder, I wonder, Swan. I wonder if those will, who's going to buy it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The collectors will buy it, but we've grown
For
to a
sure.
point where we're beyond that now. We're beyond just the collectors supporting the community. It's taken on another life of its own. So,
Right.
so I don't know. Because I'm curious to know how well the GKD bubble does, because it is actually a really cool little device.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I want to pick one up,
I
one
think
of those up and
people would
see.
end up buying this instead. If you're sitting there
Probably.
deciding, you'd probably choose this. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Anyway. Okay, so your top device was the SP, and I think that is a good
Yeah.
choice. I think, wasn't that Russ's as well? It was his top,
I think so.
like,
Yes.
personal,
Yes, I remember watching
small,
that.
compact. He did like different segments, but yeah, I think he
Yep.
chose this as well. But I think a lot of you guys owned these as kids, and so the nostalgia is very strong for you.
Yeah. Well, which is funny because I didn't own that either.
Oh, okay.
I did. It was the same thing. I didn't own any Nintendo when I was a kid.
Yeah. You were a Sega
It was
kid.
always I'm a Sega kid. Yep. I'm a Sega and an arcade kid.
Yeah.
So Nintendo was always a thing that whether it was a Game Boy or Game Boy Advance or NES or anything, it was always over somebody else's house that I would see or I could borrow or see it
Yeah.
at school or something like that. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. I think I need to give it another chance. Maybe I should just make this my device for a while. Okay, so I don't know if you want to talk about this. We can cut this out, but I just thought it was quite a fun, like, anecdotal thing that we figured out that. So I feel like I felt like I had kept this a secret. I don't know why I feel like I need to keep it a secret. I don't know. I always feel like people are going to judge me for these things, and then everyone ends up being like completely disinterested. But because I mentioned it, I think in the podcast with Retro Handouts or some way that I studied theology, or maybe it was one of the early episodes that I thought no one was going to listen to. And then you were like, no, I know that you studied theology.
It was somewhere, and I remember picking it up. It was
Yes.
like an off comment that you made, and I was like, oh, and it clicked in my head.
Yeah,
So
yes.
it's like, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. So I popped that in my head. So
Yes.
yeah, and which is funny because then we were talking, recently. And my wife of 21 years is a pastor. And it's not like she just became a pastor not too long ago. So
I see.
she had a career jump. She was in the dental scene. She was a dental hygienist.
That's a career
the
jump for you.
longest time. Yeah, yeah. Just because of everything that happened here and whatnot. So,
Okay.
but yeah, she loves it and it's great. I am not your typical pastor's wife at all. So that's been a bizarre thing for
You
me
think?
to, right, exactly. I'm like, no, on so many different levels, but like I'll tousle your hair, give you a high five and go, yeah, you're doing awesome. All right, I'm going to go now. So, but yeah.
Yeah, the gaming tech nerd pastor wife.
Right.
It's
right. Exactly. Like, and I'm an introvert. I'm like sometimes an extroverted introvert, at times. Like right now I'm extroverted, but later on I'll hole up and go and not talk to anybody for a little while. You know how it is.
Yes.
So it's just, I can be on, but then it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Don't, I do tech support. I've been doing tech support for the longest time, talking to people, being front facing sometimes with people, and then having to do that sometimes is a very interesting switch of things. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely not following any like rules in the way that you live your life, and I think that's great. Yeah, I mean,
that is me. I don't follow any rules. Yeah, that encompasses me. Yeah, all of the rules are broken. So, but yeah, it's It's funny because when everybody, they start to get to know me and I tell them, what I do. And then, oh my gosh, you're a YouTuber? Yes. Wait, what? Your wife is a pastor? Wait, what? Like we are just completely opposite spectrums but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, no, I love it. Like I love like what you call like not so surprising people, but just taking people off guard, and not just being status quo and all that kind of thing. That's kind of always been the hallmark of our lives, which does make life challenging at times. Like, because you I don't know if you guys have felt this way, and I mean, we all have challenges, but I've just always felt like I was swimming upstream. I always feel like I have the opposing view. And so it does make life hard when you are doing that all the time, and it makes it tiring,
for sure,
exhausting. Yeah,
yeah, especially in her space. There is sort of a preconceived idea that everybody has of how everyone is supposed to be and act and all of that. And that goes completely out of the window with my family. But, it ends up being, everybody's been very cool and accepting and awesome. And for the most part, we'll say, but it's a different kind of a thing. So, that's another reason why I love the YouTube community, just because everybody here is just so nice and happy and welcoming, and you're my people. Yeah. So I come back and I'm like, I want to talk to my people. Like I just started talking to Crystal the other day, and I'm just like, hey, yeah. So
cool. I see you keep in touch with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk that, like, so when I was around the time when I did the podcast episode with her, we chatted a little bit, and then, you kind of just lose touch. But then I interviewed you around the same time, and you was like saying that you two chat a lot. So it's cool that you guys are still hanging out, well, online hanging out.
Yeah, I try to keep tabs on everybody, and I love our little secret channel that we have. I love our little secret channel. It's cool. So cool and so fun just to hear about different things and getting, different information and all that. So, when following everybody that's in there, and I'm bad at it sometimes, I don't watch everybody's video just because you can't. And half the time I don't want to, also just because if I'm reviewing a certain device, I don't want to watch something and then have that skew my
I'm the
review.
Same. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. So I need to catch up on your videos, because I was like, oh, Adin posted another. Okay, it's the one that I'm doing. Never mind. Fine. I'll just not watch Aiden's video.
No, I totally understand, because I start around the time again when I interviewed Russ, and I started watching his videos a little bit, and like Russ understands this, where I've spoken to him about it, that I don't watch especially his videos, because I'm a bit nervous, because in the beginning, Russ was who I was watching mostly. Then I'd be watching Taki's videos, and then there were a few other smaller YouTubers, but mostly Russ. And then I reviewed my videos after let's say the first month, and I realized I was just full on copying Russ, And so I got very nervous of that. So I would say about 5 months into the channel, I just stopped watching him altogether. And it's for that reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it was just, I was just so nervous of that, and I respect him a lot. So I didn't want him to turn around and go, this guy's like full on, like doing the same thing as me.
Right.
So, and then the other day, around the time of the interview with him, I started watching his videos, and I was like, yes. Because totally different, like completely different.
Oh no, you're totally
points of view and that whole thing. So
yes,
I was very pleased to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I completely understand what you're saying, because for a while, every time I was doing some tutorial videos, I kind of felt like, am I just redoing Russ's video? Like, what's going on here? But, I would just try to, I'm not looking at his videos. I'm just looking at it that perspective. And yeah, it just, I mean, there's going to be other review videos and other tutorial videos that are going to be out there, and not one person can cover everything. And
Exactly.
you know,
Yes.
it's fun also. And I mean, Russ has said it himself. Go watch somebody else's videos. I don't have to be the end all be all.
Yeah.
You should get somebody else's, you know, opinion and
Yes.
review and ideas.
Yeah.
I kind of took a page out of your book.
Okay.
And I have really tried to not be scripted yet not scripted, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Like
like
more
bullet
bullet
points.
points. Yeah, bullet points, because I feel like, and I think this is just because, you know, we have ADHD brains, that sometimes you get the gems just by rambling.
Yeah.
You know, you ramble and it just goes through. You may have to do a couple takes, and that's fine. So, yeah, I just wanted to be more authentic and more, you know, me, I guess that makes sense. Because really at the end of the day, why are they watching the video? You know, I know they're watching it because they're watching about the device or the tutorial or anything, but it's really, it's your channel, and you should be doing, you know, you instead of, unless you want to do a whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do a whole persona.
I'm starting to understand, because I used to follow some really big YouTubers in the camera scene, and I'm starting to understand, because I used to be like, you're just privileged millennials who just want to do things that make them happy. But it's starting to make sense, because I kind of said that to myself just before I started the episode with you. I was putting all the devices out that I need to do. And it's like I said, it's really weighing me down, having all these devices that I can't give them the sort of light of day that I'd like them to. But I said to myself, I need to make videos that make me happy as well as the audience happy, because I'm not going to go the distance with this YouTube channel if I don't do that. I'm not going to last to 100,000 subscribers if I don't do what sort of sparks joy and also fits the YouTube algorithms. Because I've done that now. I know what the algorithm wants from me. It'll change tomorrow, but for now I know.
This week it works.
Yes, this week I understand it. And so I think that's important for any YouTubers listening, because I think it's especially I don't think it's an ADHD thing. I think it's for everyone. Like, you will wear out because you are doing the same thing over and over again. Like, if you want a YouTube channel to succeed, especially up to about 100,000 subscribers, you have to keep doing the same niche. Like, I think Russ, if he wanted to, could kind of broaden his horizons now. His growth would slow a little bit, but he could become more of like a tech channel if he really wanted to. But if you want to grow, you have to find a niche, and we found the retro gaming niche, and specifically these retro handhelds, and that's why we are growing. But the only way you're going to survive that, because, you know, I'm tired of, like, gosh, here's a perfect example. Like, TechTweet managed to do a wonderful video about this. What's it, RGB 30 Pro? It arrived, I was like, that's curious, that's it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's just another device with a few buttons, you know? Like, I was like, how long can I do this for?
About that device.
Yes. Do you love it?
It's cool. The screen is a lot better on that device. I don't know. Yeah. There's sometimes, and I totally get what you're saying, because you have to, at the end of the day, you have to be you, and you have to do the channel for, you know, the videos. You have to like doing videos. And you have to like making videos in order to survive for YouTube.
Yeah.
And I love making videos. I love the whole aspect of it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
You also, like you were saying, you have to make videos that you are going to like. You make them for your audience, but also there is a little bit of where you get to go, you know, something in there. Like if I laugh at the end of, at some point during my video and I'm rewatching it and I get a little giggle out of it, I go,
Yeah.
okay, self high five. I've done it.
Nailed it.
That's cool. I'm happy with this. We'll post this.
Yeah.
It may not be the best. It can always improve. And that's what I try to do with all my videos, is that I do just a little bit better on the next one. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to like to do all of this and do it for yourself also, because it's your channel.
Yeah.
So,
Big time. All right. So on that note, remind me what pets you have.
I have 2 dogs. I used to have 3. I lost one about a month, little over a month ago. Yeah.
So recently.
My tripod. Yeah.
Oh, him. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
shame.
yeah.
I'm sorry
I
about
posted
that.
in the thing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was so broken up about it. So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised I'm not like bursting out crying, but
Shame. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he was great. He was great, but he was older. He was a stray. I don't actually even know how old he was. We've had him for 10 years, and so
Okay.
yeah, he lived a very, very good life. Very good life, but it was time, unfortunately. But I have a golden. She's about 6. I have an 8-year-old like pit mix, and who is just a snuggle bug and just the loveliest, hilarious dog. Both my dogs are just hilarious. And then I have 3 cats.
Oh gosh.
I used to have 2, but last year, one of my wife's congregant members said, like, she found out that this old woman was going into a nursing home and she had this cat that was like 14 or 15, and they couldn't find a home for it. And so they were literally just, they had a vet appointment to put the cat down. And at the core of me as a person, I cannot let that happen.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic to cats. I'm severely allergic to cats. So yeah, I'm a crazy
Makes
person.
sense.
And I'm like, so I was the deciding factor for this cat's life. And I went, when can you go get him? That's fine. It's okay. So, but I'm happy that we have him. The other cats are not happy that we have him, but my daughter loves him.
Oh, cool.
He and my daughter are just like best friends. He practically lives in her room, sleeps on her bed, and is just, so she had another cat that she wants to like snuggle with it and like hold it like a teddy bear, basically. And the other cat that occasionally comes in here and is like, hey, what can I muck up in here? She wants to do that with that cat. And that cat's like, no, I will not have any of that. And so now she gets to do that with that cat.
Well, I'm not going to play this episode for my daughter because I'm allergic to cats, and that's the reason we don't have cats. And every time she asks, because we dog people, we have 4 dogs.
Yes.
And she just wants a cat. And I keep saying no. So you will not be speaking to my daughter.
That's fine. I just won't bring up cats. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so that's my excuse. But anyway.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't allergic to cats, but I pet them a little bit and then I have to go wash my hands and it's a whole thing, but whatever. So
cheapers. That's quite a thing. Yeah. The reason we have our one dog, it sounds like you have my wife living in your head because so we're like that, but we have the argument between each other. So we have Flossie, who was a rescue, and he had like incredibly bad mange. Like he was almost hairless. And maybe if I find a photo, I'll put it up. Sorry?
That's what happened to my pit mix. He was a rescue and he had terrible mange.
Yeah, and it's such a difficult thing to get through. And so she just saw this thing on Facebook, and she was like, "We have to rescue this dog and save it from the world." And I'm just like, "Okay, let's go get this dog." And also, so I don't know if they were going to put it down, but yeah, it was suffering, and so we spent thousands of rands on this freaking dog. But anyway, he's basically my dog. He sleeps on my feet. He like adores me because I like nursed him back to life. Not back to life, but
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I would have more dogs. I was just gonna say, if I had more, if it was allowed and I had more of a property, I would have more dogs. I'd have probably 20 dogs. I love dogs. They're just fantastic.
Yeah. My vision for my future is I want to be an old man who like rehabilitates dogs, like psychologically. So like people bring me their dogs because they're biting some people, and then I like save them. That's like my dream. To be like Caesar Milan when I'm old.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Live on a farm. Okay. So I don't know if we touched on this. No, we spoke about the Steam Deck. We didn't speak about what you are actually playing on your Steam Deck. So let's talk about that.
So I finished Cult of the Lamb, which is a fantastic game. And I think you played it. You saw that I was playing it on Steam. And
yes.
Yeah.
You were like, what's going on? How does he know?
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because I forgot that I had linked that. And I went,
okay.
oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that I finished that. What am I playing right now? I'm playing a couple different games. Actually, quite a few games. I just picked up, and I want to actually play and get through more of Hollow Knight.
Okay.
And Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yes.
What's the other one? Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. I picked up Edith Finch because it's on sale. It was on sale. So I am going to play that. I was going to try to play that before I was going to see you so I could go, oh my God, I played Edith Finch. With the holiday happening and all that, I knew that wasn't going to happen. So it's on my winter to-do list because
great winter
I won't
game.
Be going out.
It's like I think the place is modeled off like the coast in America. Like I seem to the place I saw once was Nova Scotia. Obviously, I'm not American, so I don't know everybody everywhere well. But that like coastline, that's all like always misty and cold and gloomy.
Oh yeah,
it's that kind of. It's just so nice. It's just
that's
I loved
cool.
it.
I've been to Nova Scotia. It's gorgeous there.
Okay.
Yeah. We took a cruise back in 2019, went up, left New York and went up the eastern coast and into Canada, which was fantastic to see because it was just, we went into all sorts of different things and Prince Edward Island and ended up in Quebec and so.
Beautiful.
But Nova Scotia is just awesome and you get a little scared of the ocean there because you start seeing, going and seeing lighthouses and going out onto rocks. You're like, okay, the ocean is scary and I don't want to go in it. It's going to kill me. So
that is the downside about that part of the world is it's beautiful, but you've got this ocean, but you can't go in it.
Funny story. We're getting slightly sidetracked, but I remember that you're talking about Edith Finch. But my first time in California years and years ago, we were at a beach and it like somewhere, not too far away from LA. I was at a beach and with part of my family, my mom and her friend from California were off like shopping and whatnot. So I go in the water playing around. And one of my favorite things is to like lay on my back and just stare at the clouds and just relax and float. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. And it was fun. Literally only maybe a minute or two. And I pop up and I hear noise, and I pop up and I'm treading water and I go, oh, crap. I'm a little ways out from the ocean or from the shore. I would just have to swim a little bit.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, shoot. Okay. Well, waves do that. We don't have that in Michigan. And all of a sudden, I hear this noise, and there's a lifeguard coming to get me. And I'm like, why is he coming to? Because people are out. It's not like the ocean was, off limits that day or anything. And he's swimming up to me as if I was like drowning or something. And he's like, hey, what are you doing out here? And I go, I couldn't think of anything to say. And I said, I'm from Michigan. And he goes, oh. Come with me. And I go, okay. Because I literally, my mind was blank, and I was just like, he's going to want to know why I'm out here. And there's no other good reason other than I am from Michigan and I don't understand the ocean because we have freshwater lakes and they don't do things like waves.
Yeah.
So,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was just funny.
Yeah. It's like, those people.
You're one of those. Okay, come on, come back here.
Okay. Retro games. What are you playing? Are you
retro games.
Yeah, you seem like a pretty hardened retro gamer.
Yes. Retro games that I'm actually not playing a whole lot of retro games right now because I was the Steam winter sale and then the autumn sale that was like 3 weeks before that because they were just literally back to back.
Same.
I spent a lot of money on that and I got a lot of games.
Cool.
So, but anyway, yeah, it was great. And then I found out you can, if you're friends with people, you can send people games. So that was fun. I was doing that, and I've received a couple games.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
On that note, we need to be Steam friends. I need to.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, so nothing that you're like fixed on right now. If you pick up a device, you just pay one of the golden oldies.
No. I want to get through the Castlevania series a little bit more because it's one of those that I haven't really played any of the other, past 8-bit, maybe play it into, Super Nintendo or what was on the DS or things like that. So I'm going to try to do that and pick up a couple of those games and try to play those. So,
okay.
Other than that, yeah, I've paused on retro games as far as like really getting into and playing them. And unfortunately playing my Steam Deck a little bit more, but I have played Centipede Recharged on the Steam Deck. So I feel like that's like a mish, between retro games and Steam games.
Yeah.
So it's my arcade fix.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Tech Tweep always goes like, what is retro? Because there's retro style games, there's retro games,
True. Yes.
It's pretty fluid.
It actually, yeah, when you say that, because a lot of the games that I play on Steam are retro styles, so. But.
Yeah. Yes, and you're a big platformer fan. You like all these like modern platformers, which very much herald to old games. I don't know if you play School or whatever, however you pronounce it, but that's very much like a retro modern platformer.
Okay,
you might actually enjoy that.
I'll have to check that out.
SKUL. Yeah, but you've bought enough games. Spend enough money.
It's okay. There's always more. It's okay.
What's one more game?
Actually got a Steam gift card I got a Steam gift card for Christmas.
I love that.
That I haven't gone through, so maybe I should just pick up another one.
It sounds like a wise fiscal move. I don't know if anyone. I added this for this year for the new season. You can ask me anything. I don't. A lot of people like to ask me stuff about South Africa. So let's see where it goes.
Well, sure. Let's talk about what you mentioned that it's hot there. So what is the weather like there at this moment? Because currently in snowy, it's literally snowing here. And with the wind chill, it's about 10 outside.
10.
So
Sounds
I
glorious.
need, if you tell me, if you tell me how warm it is, maybe I'll get some heat through my monitor. I don't know, because my hands are frozen right now.
Yeah. I'll bless you with some heat.
There you go.
It is 29 degrees. Well, the top, the highest it went today was 29, and it's 27 now at 20 past 5, which is pretty warm.
So that's, I can't Fahrenheit. I can't convert from from Celsius. It's okay.
Americans.
It's okay. I'm trying to do. I thought that there was a
21 degrees.
Stupid American. I had this in my head at one point, and I was like, "Oh, I can just quickly convert it," and it was one of the things that it never stuck with me. But it's what, 84 where you are?
Yeah,
ish,
84,
right around there.
84 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, is that hot?
Yes, to me, anything over like 72 starts to get warm.
But now I understand when you said 9, that is freaking cold, because that's a lot less than 9 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Good.
It would be in the negatives for Celsius. So yeah, 9.
Wow.
Yeah. We're coming into a cold spell, and there's like a whole dip with the jet stream. It went down, and which I'm fine with. I would rather it be winter and actually have like, a snowy winter or a white Christmas and things like that. So, because when it's not, that's when bad things can happen, and then things don't freeze and.
Oh, I see. For the ecology, like the ecosystem.
Yeah. Then you
Yeah.
get like mega huge spiders and insects and, mosquitoes that are trying to eat your face, and you don't want to do that. So
Wow, that's interesting.
not exaggerated at all. So Ask You Anything. I wanted to actually ask you, because I watched your video, your running video, where you went up the mountain.
Yes.
And I wanted to see if you would expound on that just a little bit more, because that seemed really cool.
Oh,
that
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. So, so I've been running for a while. I ran a lot when I was young, and then me and my wife started sort of exercising about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's reached a point now where I do these trail runs.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so I set my goal to do this. It's the UTCT. It's a trail run over Cape Town Mountain. And I grew up in Cape Town, I did cross country, but I never ran up Table Mountain. So Table Mountain's like a World Heritage site. It's when people come, there's a lot of tourism there, and if people come to Cape Town, they want to see the mountain. So it's like a big deal. It's beautiful. Like, it's got some really iconic sites, and so it was 16 kilometers, but it was about 1,200 meters elevation, and I loved it. It was just a running highlight for me. It was like a bucket list run. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Cape
I'm
Town.
actually looking up Table Mountain right now.
Yes.
And that looks gorgeous.
Yeah. So the whole city is around the mountain. It's a lot like Rio de Janeiro, that kind of like, and then the problem with the city is that there's just like no space. So the traffic is awful. But so all the suburbs revolve around that mountain. The city is in like this bowl. So you go down from the mountain, it's surrounded by mountains, and then it goes towards the harbor. It's like a really pretty city.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I ran from the other side and ran over into the city. So like running was amazing, because I had views of some of the most beautiful spots of Cape Town. It was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. No, it was really special. Thanks for asking about that.
Yeah. It was. I thought that it was cool, and it was more. It was more of a you video, because we could see like a different aspect of you and what you do. which I think is fun because if anybody's, once they start really following you, it's like, well, I want to know what else they do,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that video is
just a little
there
bit more.
for that,
Yeah.
And I roped in a little bit of the retro gaming, spoke about the Mini Plus and all that.
Yeah, because you brought the Mini.
Yeah, because I think if I hadn't done that, I probably would have got like 3 views, so.
Right. What is this guy doing? He's running. We don't run. What are you talking about?
Gamers don't run.
We don't run. Well, okay. Let me do the directional pad. I'm running now. I'm making my guy run.
Yeah. Walking Sims, running Sims. That's but that's also why I did it, because a lot of people responded to me because I think the mentality is that gamers are gamers because they're just lazy people. But what I've realized is a lot of gamers are gamers because they have mobility issues. They're struggling with some form of like, even some people have got sicknesses. And so gaming is a world for them to enter. And that really was like special for me to discover asking that question. And then the other side of it was a lot of gamers are like into fitness,
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a nice way to try and kind of break that stigma a little bit. And it's definitely something that I want to push more, like moving forward as my channel gets more popular, because I think it's a good topic to tackle in this arena, because there obviously are people who, we all do tend to be like homebodies and we just want to curl up and play games.
Yeah.
And so there is that aspect of it. So there's also an aspect of like trying to encourage people to get out and do something outside. So, yeah.
Well, also, I mean, in the niche that we're in, I mean, we have these handhelds. What are these handhelds? They're portable. We can take them around wherever we want. So you can be gaming on top of Table Mountain.
Exactly.
And, you can do a run of whatever game you're playing, play a little Sonic, and then you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Pop it in your pocket, go back to, doing your run or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I like that. Yeah. I'm not a runner, just because I have asthma and so, but I am, one of my goals is to get out and actually nature hike a little bit, walk and whatnot. So
yeah,
maybe you've inspired me. But I also think that it's really cool that you're doing that and you're thinking of doing that because, I mean, you're in a place that I don't know of any other South African, YouTuber. I mean, you have this beautiful place that it would be cool to just see more of. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I do. I really enjoy that part. Okay, we're interviewing me now. He's just very sneaky. But I do enjoy that part of this. Like, I enjoy the fact that there aren't a lot of like famous South African YouTubers. And as my channel grows, I have the opportunity to tell people a little bit about what's going on here, And I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why not? I mean, that's part of what you're doing. And so, just.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one cool thing about like the way the world's changed, because when I was like really young, when I was like 18, 19, I had a band and we were musicians. And like, that whole thing of like in the olden days, bands had to sing in an American accent to kind of appeal to the American audience. Whereas things have changed a lot now,
Right.
Like very much so, because, you've got like Elon Musk, who's South African with like a half South African accent over there, and people hear him all the time. And there's quite a lot of like famous South Africans that speak with their South African accent. They're not trying to like cover it up. So I think people are a little bit more used to just listening to a different sounding voice and not thinking, like it's not that olden day thing of like, oh, you've got an accent, like it's not that kind of, because they always make that joke of they always kind of rip off the people in the South, because I don't know if it is that or if it's just like a standing joke in America, but like people going, I don't have an accent, like.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, even I have an accent, and, my Midwestern, weird accent that
Weird
if anybody's
accent.
listening, I never thought that I had an accent, and everybody's like, you have a little bit of an accent. It's like there's a little bit of like, I guess, Canadian and, some other stuff and whatnot. I don't know, but
Yeah,
everybody has an accent. There is no like
there's
standard
no,
because it's wherever you are in the world, and everybody has an accent. So
exactly. And it's just, I think, and that's what I'm trying to say. We've moved away a little bit from that sort of like, okay, in the very, very olden days, it used to be like sort of the British centric, like, that is the correct way to speak. And then it became more like, sort of, where would the correct accent be? Like the sort of proper speaking New Yorkers or Californians, like that's like the correct, like that they don't have accents,
Right.
Whereas,
everybody wants to model that and what what everybody sees in the movies, and you don't have to do that. Just be you.
Yeah.
Just be you.
And it's nice because I think it's changed that way.
Right. It is. It is nice.
All right. So what are your goals for 2025? Gaming and YouTube.
So my goals, I'm going to try to post more videos. The last few months, like I'll do good and for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden, like life really, really happens. With my dog and whatnot, it really took a toll. Yeah. So and then I noticed, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I haven't posted for almost 2 weeks, and like, oh my gosh. And I really noticed that messes up the algorithm a lot. And I went, okay, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So, I'm going to try to post more videos. I'm actually going to try to do some shorts.
Okay.
And maybe try to have things a little more lined up if I can do this in a perfect world, hopefully, just in case life happens, because life happens a lot at my house. So, I mean, life happens everywhere, but yeah. So my, and I'd like to post more videos. I'd also like to try to I have a couple ideas that I'm going to try to do a little bit of collaborating with some other YouTubers. I might be hitting you up here in a minute, but
cool.
I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah.
So, but just like a couple little things. Thank you. And just try to do, I got ideas. I'm going to try to see if I can flesh some of those out and just try to do a couple different things, but also stay in this whole space, if that makes sense, without, giving away all of my ideas and secrets.
Cool. Okay.
So and because my ultimate goal would be, I really want to push this YouTube thing, and I'm having so much fun. And I hope everybody's having fun watching my videos.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. That's like my goal as well.
Yeah.
Because, I think you when you said that, it's just like resonated with me, because I feel this. I really want this to work. It's just something that I so enjoy, and it brings so much fulfillment. When I was doing therapy like a year ago, the therapist, and it stuck with me because I ADHD, you want everyone's approval. Like, it stuck with me because she said, why are you so fixated on the YouTube? And I don't know if she was asking that just from a sort of scientific point of view, or like, is there a problem with you that you so badly want to succeed at YouTube? But I have been wrestling with that for like 2 years now. And I think I've just realized I enjoy it. Like, it's just, I love the community. That's okay. Like, I love meeting people like we are now. Like, I never would have spoken to you or any of the other guys.
Right.
It's just been a wonderful experience. And so I just want to keep doing that,
I think I know where your therapist was probably coming from, where because, and that's where I've gotten a couple looks like, you're a YouTuber, like, oh, you need social media in your life to be, you need other people's approval, and like they're, you need to be on stage. And I don't want to be on the stage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, it's just, this is fulfilling, like I mentioned before, this fulfills just this creative thing inside of me, this creative fire inside of me that I want to do. Also, I feel like in a roundabout way, it helps people find, because I think of when I watched Russ's videos and a couple other people, way back when, and I went, wait, what? There's handheld. I can play video games.
Yeah.
On a handheld? What? Like my eyes, there was just a.
Yeah.
So I feel like more people need to, and even when I talk to people, in real life, well, not that this isn't real life, but you know what I mean?
No,
like
have to get it. Yeah.
Here, I come across people and I'm like, yeah. And I explain the YouTube channel a little bit and they're like, wait, what? You can play video games? And I go, yes, come here, come to the dark side. Let me show you my ways, So yeah, I think it's fantastic. I would like to try to get this thing a little bit more organized, and so that I could maybe possibly eventually go full time, because that would be phenomenal. And it would just be great. And then I would not have to do my silly job that doesn't fulfill me as a person. So, and that's okay, because this does.
Yeah.
And that just pays the bills. You know what I mean? And just having a little bit more freedom with my life and my kids and whatnot. So it would just be nice. But yeah, that's my goal, and my YouTube goal, and maybe my ultimate goal. So yeah, it would, hopefully this whole thing eventually will just flush into something awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that for you, Kim. Like, I think you're doing well. And I think, like you say, the only thing really holding you back right now is just like uploading more, which, you see, it is a little bit of a trap, because you don't want to get into the rut of having to upload 2 to 3 times a week. And the next thing, it's all you're doing, and you're working sort of 16-hour days, and then kind of defeats the whole point, So it is a little bit of a balancing act, but, with some luck, a few of our videos kind of go big this year, and we can grow a little bit.
Yeah, that's my hope on it. So I think it'll be good. I have a good feeling about it. So hopefully, I'm just going to be super positive.
Yeah, man. And well done for getting this far and for everything that you're doing. I mean, like, I think I said this last time, but I enjoy your videos from the perspective of it just feels like I'm checking in with a friend, and there's just something, there's a I want to use the word texture. There's a texture to your videos, like a certain air of, I think what's great is I can't put my finger on it. It's like a little X factor, something that's special, that makes you different to everyone else. And so I definitely think it's worth just continue pursuing, and you're going to grow. So yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I mean, Steve in the background wants me to grow as well. I don't know if you've
Steve
the Stormtrooper has been a giant fun thing that I've added into my videos. That it's like a inside joke that has become more and more of a thing, that once people start watching, they're like, where's Steve? Why isn't Steve in the video? So hopefully not everybody hates Steve, but I've really started
oh, that's great.
Enjoying.
Okay, I need to get into it and see what you're doing there. That's
great. I usually throw them at the end, because I don't want somebody to start watching the videos and they're like, what? Why is she talking to this what is this? Is this a Star Wars channel or what's going on? This person's insane. She's crazy. Why is she talking to this thing?
I think most people think that about all of us. So.
We are a little crazy, each and every single one of us. But
welcome.
But exactly. enjoy the ride. But it's I'm just having fun. It's just fun. So why not?
Cool. Well, thanks, Kim. Thanks for spending some time with me. I'm going to put, there was a few links, videos that I referenced, so we'll put your videos in the description. So please go check out Kim's channel. Some great content on the retro gaming scene and bringing, like I say, like just a different flavor to everyone else. So I think it's worth just going and subscribing there. So yeah, thanks, Kim.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Don't go away, but we'll say goodbye to the audience. Cool. Cheers.
Bye.
Let's just say stop.